Hey guys, what's up? Jared here, Dex and Dice, Ramblings of an LGS owner. Let's talk about bulk and selling bulk and all that good stuff that you see running rampant on YouTube currently with random people. So, first and foremost, I'm not throwing, sorry guys, it's allergies for some reason, scratchy throat, all that good stuff. Anyways, it appears to me that a lot of these TCG side hustle videos or whatever, they make selling cards sound like it's free money with little to no effort. Like, all you gotta do is sort, list, print the labels, profit. Like, that's kind of the way that it is presented. And then a little bit later down the road, you get the, oh, I ran into this and a video about that, and oh, I ran into this and a video about that, and then so forth and so forth. And it's like, bruh, I can tell you what you're going to run into in one video, and it's going to be 95% of what you're going to run into without having to make 19 videos on it or whatever. Just hear me out, okay? I've been doing this for 5 years professionally and before that and all that good stuff. Let me just tell you that bulk is a great place to start out. It's your foundation, it's your boot camp. It's going to teach you like conditioning, proper ways to sort, like by, into set, and then when you get into set, you do loose alpha or whatever. Pro tip, S's are probably going to be the biggest alpha you're going to have, so eventually you might get enough to where you need to break down the S's into their own individual, like loose alpha, where you just have S and then A, B, C, D in the S's, okay? Just pro tip there. Let me go ahead and throw that one out there. It'll teach you, bulk will teach you condition checking, like inventory systems that work for you that might not work for someone else, because starting out like a chaos sort or whatever will work just fine, where you might only have 1,200 cards to 5,000 cards or whatever, so just having them in ABC order, alpha order is acceptable. But eventually you're going to run into a point where you're going to have to pick an inventory system. By all means, I suggest, like everyone else has suggested, once you hit enough cards, you start doing it by set, and then alpha and the set, and let it roll from there. Bulk is going to teach you it's going to help you cut your teeth on your like shipping methods, your set recognition, because you're going to see a shit ton of sets and all that good stuff. It's going to teach you like order management in a way. It's going to teach you like a general basic workflow like discipline, okay? You're going to figure out a system that works for you, and you're going to run with it, okay? Because what works for me entirely might not work for you, but you're going to figure it the fuck out, and you're going to go with it because it's going to help you sell cards, right? It's going to help you sell the bulk. It's going to be your boot camp. You're going to figure it the fuck out, and you're going to be like, yes. Once you hit that mark, you are going to start going into these weird little like bottlenecks that you're going to just experience. Everybody does it. Don't care who you are. Some people, however, can manage these bottlenecks better because they have access to this is no shade at anybody, I promise, it's just a reality, because maybe they have access to more resources than you might have if you're just selling stuff out of your closet or whatever. And by resources, I mean like the funds to get a scanner, and not even like an actual card sorter, but like the Fujitsu scanner or the Epson scanner or a Brother scanner, to take advantage of all these scan and identify things, or sort swift or whatever. That is weird, but sort swift seems fine, but it seems to have a weird little limit on it, like I think 1,100 cards a month or whatever, but it runs you like $60 a month to do that, or 40 or whatever, and that doesn't work for me, because obviously I can list more than 1,100 cards a month, and that doesn't work for me. But anywho, you're going to run into the weird bottlenecks that if you have the money to throw at it, good, do it, because listing stuff is going to be probably the first real bottleneck you're going to run into. And with listing, I mean, you're going to figure out that scanning shit takes forever. Organizing will take forever if you're just initially organizing something new. Obviously, if you have a process in place, the organizing gets faster, but it still will take time. Condition checking, arguably, for some people, probably takes longer than it should. My take on conditioning, sorry guys, it's pretty bad. My take on conditioning is, unless I opened it from a pack myself, it gets lightly played. It starts at lightly played and then goes down the more dings and shit that I can see. All right. Yeah, sure, fine. I missed 20 cents here, 50 cents there, 80 cents there, or whatever. But sometimes I also gain 20 cents, 50 cents, 80 cents, because sometimes, for whatever reason, the lightly played version is actually more than the near mint. But, you know, whatever. The reason why I do that is because I save time and effort on my end without having to deal with someone messaging me, well, actually, this is not near mint. There is one ding. It's like, dude, it's listed as near mint. Near mint allows for, I think, like 2 points or 3 points. I think it's 2, but it might be 3. 3 points of like an imperfection. Not scratches or anything like that, but you know, if there's a ding on the card from like the pack itself from being put in there or whatever, as long as it's not a deep ding or whatever, it's still near mint. Sorry. But that's why I list shit at lightly played, because if they order lightly played, they get a card that's actually near mint, but there is that little ding in there. They're going to be like, oh, well, I ordered lightly, and they won't bother you with a message, okay? Once you keep doing this for a while, you're going to understand that your time ends up being the most important resource that you have dealing with this, okay? It's just, you're going to figure it out. Now, whether you take my advice and do that or not, it's up to you. You can call me crazy or whatever, but to me, losing X amount of cents here and there is worth it to me without having to deal with messages about, you know, conditioning and stuff. So, anyways, moving on. You know, you'll find that one of the other bottlenecks will just, as part of with the listing shit in general, the filing might take forever if you end up, you know, listing 3,000 cards in one day or whatever, and it's not from all the same set. You're going to be like, damn, what did I do to myself? You know, that might take a little while. There's going to be like mispicks and stuff like that you're going to have. Stuff's going to happen as far as like misscans and all that, or you didn't catch it in the big ass thing that you scanned in, that it scanned in as the wrong set, or oddly enough, entirely like a card that's not even in the list got scanned for some reason. Like it's in there and you didn't catch it. I've had that happen quite a few times where the TCG app will just scan a completely different card before it scans the right card really quick, and if I'm not paying total attention, I won't catch that. So there will be like a ghost card or something that gets put in there. But, you know, that's probably going to be the first real bottlenecks that you get into, is just listing and everything that listing entails. And then, like I said, that's when you get to pick how you solve your first bottleneck. Do you just suck it up and continue scanning stuff? Do you sink $500, $600, $700, maybe $1,200 into a just like document scanner that can scan TCG cards and start listing stuff that way? Up to you. It just depends on you and what kind of stuff you're looking to do, you know. Then another bottleneck that you'll run into will be eventually, on a long enough timeline, you'll start to question, why am I shipping 25-cent orders? Why am I packing up 15 cards in this one order and it's only a $3 order? You know, you'll get stuff like that and you'll start being like, man, what am I doing with my life, right? So that'll be another bottleneck that you have to figure out. Once you reach that bottleneck, you need to kind of figure out, are you okay with just being the bulk dude and that's it? You know, you buy your bulk. Sometimes you find a diamond in the rough with a $20 card, someone forgot in the bulk. Okay, like that's unicorn scenarios. It happens. It's part of the reason why people enjoy doing bulk. It's part of the reason why I enjoy doing bulk, because it happens and it pays for itself. But anyways, realistically though, you know, are you going to be the kind of guy who's like, great, I am perfectly happy with spending 3 or 4 hours out of my day packing up 10 or 15 orders, whatever, you know, at $3 a piece and making my $50 a week or whatever it might be, you know, maybe $100 a week or whatever, doing this, and that's fine. If that's what you choose to do, you do you, boo boo. Congrats, like happy for you. On the other hand, you might choose to get a little more serious and start buying collections. Because let's be honest, you would rather ship out one $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 card than ship out, you know, $51 orders to make $50. And again, guys, I apologize. Something weird's happening. So you're going to have, once you reach that bottleneck, you need to make a decision right then and there to either continue being the bulk guy or to try to take yourself more serious and maybe build a legitimate business out of this. You know, maybe you want to go the brick and mortar route or whatever. But anyways, once you hit that, you need to figure out which way you want to do. And that, once you figure that out, will probably determine, you know, the rest of your TCG seller life, honestly. You'll either continue being the bulk guy, bringing in a couple $100 extra a month, doing that, or you start buying collections and making a few thousand a month. Just depends on what you want to do. Because like I said, you will eventually hit that point to where you're going to be like, man, is this really worth my time and effort? So, and then like once you do hit that bottleneck and you kind of pick your lane, you know, your scale lane or whatever, do you stay the same or do you grow? That's when you got to really kind of worry about like what kind of space you're taking up in your house, your actual inventory systems, the dead inventory you have that is like true bulk that nobody fucking wants at all. Like, what do you do with that? Do you do a quarterly process of like, kind of like I do with most of my Magic bulk or whatever? Well, I used to do. I haven't done it in like a couple of months, but like there's a boys' school in a couple of towns over that I just, they want bulk, so I give them bulk. But like, if it's honest dead inventory, like what do you do with it? Do you just let it sit there and take up space, or do you do like a quarterly thing of all of this shit did not sell, so it is completely dead inventory. Nobody wants it. I don't want it. Let me pack it up and maybe donate it to a school, some kind of a, you know, after school program, or do you just set it on fire? Like, you know, what do you do with it? And that's something you need to figure out. Labor will be something else as well. Like, can you really sustain X, Y, and Z on top of doing A, B, and C that you already have? Like, once you scale to that, you really got to kind of figure it out. And once you kind of figure that out, once you hit those bottlenecks and overcome them and all that good stuff, you got to make sure that you're still enjoying it. You're still enjoying the process, whichever avenue you decide to go on, because you don't want to like accidentally just build yourself a bad second job, essentially. You're in control of this. If you decide that it's for you, great. If not, quit. No hard feelings, you know? But if you do continue with it, you got to make sure that you don't just build yourself a second job that you're going to hate, okay? Because it's going to be repetitive labor. Initially, starting out, it's going to be like a low effective hourly wage. You're going to make $10 an hour, maybe, Technically, no time off, because if you take time off, it compounds to the next day. There is no other shift coming in to do your job, so it doesn't compound to the next day. You want to be very careful of that too. You're going to always be sorting, you're going to always be packing, you're going to always be organizing, you're going to always try to be like sourcing other things. You got to understand that all of this shit takes time, effort, mental bandwidth, all that good stuff. It's not just as easy as, like I said, get cards, list cards, mail out cards, receive paycheck. On paper, it's that easy, but there's a whole slew of random crap that happens in between there multiple times a day, compounded through the days, weeks, months, and everything. So it's not just Pokemon card go burr. It really isn't. You gotta make sure that you are the type of person that wants to do this, that can just do repetitive tasks, that enjoys this kind of stuff, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna quit because you're gonna build a job that you hate, and then nobody wants that, okay? Just be wary of that. Try to do a mental check every couple of weeks or whatever, like, do I really want to keep doing this? If I keep doing this, it'll go in this way, but if I want to do it another way, it'll go in this way. You need to constantly be doing like self-checkup things with that. Like, it's something that you need to just be aware of. And then once you actually pick what you want to do, then, go balls deep. That you do you, boo-boo. Like, but until then, it's a struggle, But like, bulk is, like I said, to get back to the original thing of, bulk sellers and, I can do this, I did it with this, and like, you can, but you got to be a specific kind of person. You got to know what you're getting into. You might have an idea of what you're getting into, but like, putting it into practice and actually going through the motions and just knowing something are two different things. Like, you can know that the stovetop is hot, but unless you've actually touched the stovetop once or twice, you don't really know how hot and painful it is, So that is also something else to keep in mind, because like, I'm not saying to not start small if this is what you're going to try or what you want to do or anything like that, because by all means, you should start small. You should start with bulk, figure it out. Like I said, it's like your boot camp. Get your basics under you, figure out like what you want to do, and then go for it, but be very careful how you go for it, because most everything that I've seen tries to make it out to be like it's easy money, and it's not. Okay, it's still time, it's still effort, it's still labor. It takes a lot out of you, and I know that sounds weird, but it really does. It will take a crap ton out of you. But I just wanted to make this video to kind of touch on everything that I could think of, just in my little brain here, everything that I could think of that could be a potential like pitfall or like a weird, crossroads that you're going to get to, and for you to kind of like what to really expect, because I've been doing this with an actual card shop for 5 years now. This is something that I do full time. This is not my side hustle. This is not my little, funny money gig or anything. This is how I make my living. This is how I feed my family. This is what I'm telling you what I have experienced, what I have learned, what I go through on a day-to-day basis in a medium, small medium shop that is chugging along and doing just great. Because, like, if I want to, you know pull a pokey anything here and be like, I'm a six-figure seller, even though he's a seven-figure seller. It's like, I'm a six-figure seller, been doing this 5 years or whatever. Like, I'm not a super 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 like successful shop, but I'm successful in my own little ways with this shop. Like many of you watching this, you're not Rudy, you're not Mason, you're not Rob, Louie. You're not seven-figure sellers, you don't have two shops, none of that shit. You're normal everyday mofos trying to figure out if this is for you, or you're a shop like me that is just kind of like, well, here I am, successful, not really successful, I'm chugging along, I can pay for stuff, but like, I just want you guys to understand that it's not as easy as they make it out to be. Bulk is not as simple as everyone makes it out to be. It takes a specific kind of person to be able to do something like this because of just the sheer repetitive nature that it is, and just the mind-numbing work that it is. The time, the effort, everything compounds, and then before you know it, you're spending 6, 7, 8 hours, a day. Well, I guess if you have a full-time job or whatever, you probably wouldn't do that. But you're spending more time than you initially thought that you ever would handling everything that comes in with selling bulk, if you don't prepare yourself for the pitfalls, traps, whatever you want to call them, bottlenecks, whatever word works for you. If you haven't built in some sort of a plan for that crap before you even reach them, it's just, you're going to have a bad time. And I'm not saying that you will 100% hate this, but again, like I said, it's just a specific person. You'll figure it out if you're that specific person, man. I'm going to get going, though. I got 30 minutes before I have to open up the shop. And hopefully, maybe my throat will stop feeling like sandpaper. But you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you again in the next video. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, by all means, leave them in the comment section. Do me a favor, subscribe, like, share the video, whatever, because, yeah, I'm not super successful, but I feel like maybe I'm coming from a spot where a lot of you kind of are, or where you might want to end up being, like, because you can't just go from closet seller to Rudy in one step. There's many, 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 many layers, and some of my stuff might ring true to you, and some of my stuff might not ring true to other people, because maybe you're above and beyond what level I am, and you're just laughing at me because you have the resources, employees, and all that good stuff to handle the bullshit that I'm struggling through currently. So, anyways, you guys have a good one. I'll catch you in the next video, and remember, life is not a dick. You don't have to take it so hard. You're a trash can, not a trash can't. Be good out there, guys.